So the second race of the day for the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Classic Stock Catch Championship. The grid set by the second fastest times in qualifying. And it's good to see that James Hazelhurst is there on pole position after being retirement from the earlier race in car number 12. Lee Scott, the race 1 winner, is alongside him in the number 1 Fiesta. Matt Rosier, number 2, and Andy Philpotts, number 6 in Peugeot and Ford respectively on the second row. Ted Cooper and Matthew Stubbington, Nova and Peugeot, 4 and 67 on row 3. Marcus Ward's Fiesta and Andrew Thorpe's AX, 55 and 9 are on the 4th row of the grid. On to the 5th row, we can see on the inside there Scott Ward, number 99 in his Fiesta, and Stuart Place, number 87 in the Peugeot. Martin Rogers, another 205 for him, number 39, and Ben Ward in the Fiesta XR2i on row 6. The 7th row has Jason Wood in the Nova and Martin Kayser's Fiesta. Paul Brock, another Fiesta, a similar car for Richard Kelsall, Titch Kelsall on the outside of row 8. Row 9, Derek Rosier and Darren Bassingthwaite in the 205s. Pete Oscarby in the Nova lines up 19th on the grid, number 58, alongside Alan Dooley's number 62 Ford Fiesta. Then it's going to be David Darlington and Ian Gribben in their XR2s at the back with, don't think we'll see Rick Groom because we didn't see him, I don't think, in race 1. So the Classic Stock Catch cars going back out for their second race of the day, Marcus. A great contest we had earlier on, eventually won by the championship leader Lee Scott.
That's right. I mean, how many years has he won it now? He must have won...
I did add this up earlier. I think
6
it's...
6 or 7 or something?
I think 6, yeah. 4 in the guise. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the guise of Classic Stock Catch, and actually just one other win in as Stock Catch Class B.
So he's gunning for 6 this year. Looks like it could well happen, doesn't it? It was good, and interesting to see that car of James Hazelhurst back out again, because he got robbed a little on that first race. He made a decent enough start, got himself back up to the lead, and then broke on the second lap, didn't he?
Yeah,
so,
it was an electrical issue, we're hearing,
was it?
that ruled him out in race 1. So
something minor at least, so that's
that
good.
seems to be the case. So this time is the opportunity for him to try and convert that qualifying pace into race victory. As we said earlier on, success ballast is a factor here. I would think Lee Scott is pretty much up to the maximum in terms of success ballast, because it is limited for obvious safety reasons, and it only sort of is based on your last 5 race results. So
you have to sort of provide the bracketry to attack blocks of lead, don't you?
That's basically the idea. That usually goes into the sort of passenger
footwell
position.
Somewhere.
Yeah, where the passengers' feet would be. But Lee Scott, Matt Rosier, they'll both have quite a bit of this because they're first and second in the championship coming into this weekend. So they've both had some pretty strong results. Last time out though, at Cadwell Park, it was Pip Hammond that took the 2 wins there. So he's not here. So
bit of an expert at Cadwell, isn't he?
He is local track for the man from Humberside. So he's well versed at success around at Cadwell, the King of Cadwell, some have dubbed him. Race gets underway then, and it's a good start by Lee Scott from the inside of the front row in the all-white Fiesta XR2i, but trying to go with him is the number 12 Peugeot 205, which indeed sweeps into the lead around the outside at Abbey Corner. So that is James Hazelhurst getting the lead then into Abbey for the first time. Lee Scott second. It looks like Andy Philpotts third, and Matt Rosier in 4th place in the white and blue Peugeot.
He could get mugged down here, could Hazelhurst, but at the end of the day he's got no ballast in the car, and you could see that helped him get to Abbey Corner first. Brave around the outside, but you need to be. So much work done on the first lap or 2 of these races, particularly when the field gets stretched out. But when you've got the redoubtable Lee Scott chasing you down, you mustn't relax for a nanosecond.
Yeah, as we watch Rosier trying to get past Philpotts there in the background, so the white and blue Peugeot 205 on the inside of the Fiesta XR2i, the red number 6 car.
Stubbington's on the inside of the 6 car as he moved back across.
Yeah, that was a clever piece of driving, but can he convert it into 3rd or 4th position then as they head down to the Vale?
Depends whether he can weather Vale, I think.
It's getting very congested down there, isn't it? Ted Cooper in the Nova also involved in this as well. Ooh, I think we just avoided a bit of contact there as well between Rosier and Philpotts. Stubbington hasn't progressed from 5th place at the moment in the number 67 car, the grey car with the orange wheels. And now Marcus Ward trying to get involved as well. He's still in 7th place, so he came through to finish second in the earlier race. But he's still in 7th place in this one now, trying to go past Stubbington into Abbey, I think. Scott Ward, his brother, just behind him as well. Cooper there making the place on Philpott's through the Abbey sweeper.
Stubbington came around only 6th after all that. It was a great move down into Stowe.
But he's trying to make amends for that now, but he's got to try and fend off Marcus Ward, well, both Wards actually, as they headed through Village that time. Now heading back onto the Hanger Straight.
Thorpe having a better run as well. He's up into 9th place at a Stuart Place.
Yeah, he is. Hazelhurst still has the lead though, halfway around this second lap of the race, which is good news. Hopefully no repeat of the electrical issues that he had earlier on then.
And here comes Rosier, sucking his way back up towards Lee Scott's Fiesta.
And also Stuart Place there in that red and white Fiesta makes up a place on Stubbington there. Well, that's very nicely done.
Yeah, Stubbington kind of left the door open, didn't he?
He did. It should have been watched there because it was the kind of move he was trying to pull a lap ago. So he should have seen it coming really. As Place
touch there.
Yeah, that is on the back of Scott Ward's car. A little tap. Bowden didn't really unsettle the Fiesta though, thankfully. So both able to continue. Hazelhurst meanwhile continues to lead at the end of lap 2. 1:23.64 in his first flying lap, which already is faster than the fastest lap in the early race, which is a 1:24.13. So that's interesting. He's already half a second faster than that. So a very good time for James Hazelhurst there. Really getting the clog down early on. Trying to escape from Lee Scott, and he's having a degree of success because he's 1.15 seconds clear with 9 3/4 minutes of the race left to go. There's Stuart Place, number 87. Had a good run at Mallory Park in May. Was leading for a time, but then promptly lost it up at Shaw's Corner.
Stubbington now 9th, ahead of Martin Rogers.
So when we thought it was going to be 3rd, sort of partway around lap 1, he's 6 places further back than that, in fact. Hazelhurst, Scott, Rosier, you can just see tucked in behind Lee Scott there. Then Ted Cooper on his own, Andy Philpott's 5th, 6th, Marcus Ward, and then this swarm of cars. Andrew Thorpe at the back of that, in what must be 11th place, I think, now. Yes, he has dropped back, which is where he finished race 1. There's Scott Ward, who had that tap from Stuart Place a lap ago. He's now trying to go around the outside of him, I think, to no avail. And
Rosier has passed Scott. So number 2, Matt Rosier, moves up into 2nd place. What can he do about Hazelhurst in the similar car, albeit a car unencumbered by lumps of lead in the footwell?
Yeah. Well, Rosier's also been a multiple champion, twice in the Classic Stock Catch, once in the Stock Catch Class B guys. He's been racing in this category for over a decade, as has Lee Scott now. And very familiar with the car and the championship. 1.74 seconds he's got to make up though on James Hazelhurst, who improved his best time last time around, a 1:23.59. 1800ths outside Lee Scott's lap record, a 1:23.41. Lee Scott having last won here in 2017, Matt Rosier, before today, Matt Rosier won here in 2018, both races. That's what Andrew Thorpe and the X go through.
Scott Ward had a bad lap, dropping down to 9th place from 7th. Stubbington then, he's chasing along in 67, made a place, he's up into 8th place. Hazelhurst still leads in 12. Rosier is 1.74 seconds behind, and not as quick last time round either. Although Rosier has done a 1:23.37.
There's 34 Ben Ward in 12th place, just making his way through. Up ahead is Andrew Thorpe, and then Scott Ward and Matthew Stubbington, 10th, 9th and 8th respectively. Martin Rogers is the car missed out there in 11th place. Leaders back through to complete another lap meanwhile. And Hazelhurst's lead has come down by a couple of tenths that time to 1.57. So Matt Rose has now got the bit between his teeth and is chasing off after James Hazelhurst in the lead of this race. And you do wonder if Matt Rose's experience in these situations might tell here. James Hazelhurst, not having led a race before today, best finish in the championship of 7th so far this season. That was his only top 10 appearance as well. So to be leading a race and defending from a multiple champion like Matt Rose will be quite a challenge for him, I imagine, as the race progresses.
Yes, it will. And car may well change under him. He'll be feeling it and be listening for it. But of course, Rozier's been there before, and he's raced Peugeots exclusively, hasn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Was there a Fiesta in the Rozier team, the three-car Rozier team at one point?
Yeah, a black and yellow one.
Yeah.
A little bit of rain on our commentary box window, but I don't think it's going to be enough to massively change track conditions. There you can see what's producing it.
Yeah, but you see that on the window while you're leading, and you think, oh, I've not been leading before, or not for very long, and
Well, it's been enough for Andy Philpotts to put his wipers on. That's for sure. He's in 5th place, and trying to defend from Marcus Ward. He's not having such a strong race here as he did in race 1. Short, although saying that, he's got a better run out of club now.
1.57, the same as it was.
Yeah,
124.37 apiece, 124.39 for Scott and Ted Cooper, 124.29. So was it nothing between them? A 10th covered the top 4.
Yeah,
in terms of lap times.
No, very competitive racing in the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Classics.Catch Championship, as that evidence is. You can see just how close, but pretty clean this racing is. Stuart Place, I noticed, also has had his wipers on there, but the spots around that were on the window have pretty much disappeared now. So
Marcus Ward up to 5th ahead of Philpotts.
He is, but he's lost it again, and Stuart Place has also got ahead of him.
Oh, and Andrew Thorpe has gone incredibly wide. That surely means he's going to lose a place, and he does.
He was in a different postcode briefly, wasn't he?
He was.
But he's returned to Silverstone. Oh, and now Stubbington getting a wheel on the grass as they headed along the Hanger Straight. You've got effectively 4 wide here. Who's going to come out in front? It's going to be Marcus Ward again. Stubbington's followed him through.
And he's ahead of Place. They've both got...
Well, he's gone from 8th to 6th then in that move, down the inside along the Hanger Straight. Place will try and come back at him now as they drop down towards the Vale. You've got wipers going once again.
Can't fit 3 abreast there, surely. Not really.
Not really. They somehow make it work. I think Philpotts has ended up put his roof at that corner before, I seem to remember.
It looks quite likely to do similar.
We've got Place there for... Oh, and now he spins, does Andy Philpotts, and bang, he goes into the pit wall. And so Philpotts there, the car flush against the pit wall there, but facing in absolutely the wrong direction now. Will he be able to turn that round and get going again?
Or just drive it off.
Yeah. At least if he needs to get out of the car, it's not the driver's door that's up against the pit wall. But he's then got to try and clamber over the pit wall if that is the case. So Philpotts was in 7th place as they went over the line, but there was a touch, and he's spun around and ended up in the pit wall, I'm afraid. So retirement. As the rain getting a bit harder. Oh, and that's Ben
34
Ward.
34's broken.
Ben Ward pulling off, number 34, brother of Marcus.
3 brothers in the race.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's a replay of what happened here. Mark, talk us through this.
Let's just have a look. Place comes up the inside of Philpotts, goes over the curb, just touches the curb, and there is a touch, I'm sure, because you wouldn't fire around like that if there wasn't, I suspect. But only the briefest of nudges. It's coming up, the car's run stable on the curb, at least Philpotts' car was.
Now Lee Scott has got Ted Cooper all over the back of him now. There's only about half a second between them at the start of the lap, but we've now got the
full course yellow.
Well, we've got the safety car is just moving out of its position. Yellow flags are waving on the start line. Yeah,
that's not going to be welcome news for James Hazelhurst.
It's not, is it? Although with only 3 minutes to go, it might be that this race doesn't actually get restarted.
True.
So in which case it would be very welcome news. He would be quite happy if they wave the checkered flag now rather than the yellow flag on the start line to signify that the safety car is out. So we've gone, what was it, 15 races without seeing the safety car with a red flag, and now we've had two safety cars in the space of 2 races. That's how it works, and that's because we've got the Philpotts car up against.
But of course they can't get to it at the moment. That's the problem, because the field is so strung out. Yeah.
They need to introduce a gap. The marshals have now moved out through the pit wall, I think, and will hopefully be able to. I think there's a gap in the pit wall. They can shove that car through, so that's what they'll try to do. And if that is the case, hopefully it won't be a desperately long safety car period, and we'll at least get 1 racing lap again before the end. But yes, it has created now a gap. I think the last car has gone through. So they're all queued up behind the safety car. James Hazelhurst, his lead, will be completely written off. Right, I think they're now going to try and push it backwards through the gap in the pit wall, are they? A bit further forward, so they can turn it sufficiently, I think. And yeah, and then it's going to go backwards through the pit wall. So excellent work again by the marshals. Assuming they.
Looks like there are 5 of them down there. They've got the car safely through the wall. Last one retreats, bolts the car gate up.
Just as the safety car's coming into club corner, though. So again, a bit late for a restart. So we'll get one more lap, I would think. We've got 12 minutes gone, so yeah, effectively we'll get the last lap board, won't they, as the safety car pulls in this time. So, well, that is the last thing that James Hazelhurst, leading a race for the first time, would have wanted.
Yep.
My goodness.
The
one thing to bear in mind is that I'm not sure Matt Rosey will have done many safety car restarts before, because it's a relatively recent introduction to 750 Motor Club racing. So it's not like Rosey will have had the advantage of doing this for, on many occasions.
Just give it 4 beans, won't he?
I think so. I think that's
going to have to, even though he's got more weight.
Yeah.
On board, this sort of balance of performance, weight limit thing.
Yeah, he's keen to sort of keep the gap pegged back to Lee Scott. Matt Rosey's yet to have a win this season, but he's only been off the podium on 2 occasions so far. Once at Brands and once at Cadwell. So it's been pretty consistent.
And there's a lot more wiper action now.
Yeah, so and the surface of the track just has a little bit of a sheen to it now, doesn't it?
Yep.
As if the moisture has a bit of an effect. Certainly at that part of the circuit. It might not be equally all the way around, of course, but you can see the tyre tracks, can't you now? I think it's wetter down at that side of the circuit than it is at our side.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So that's interesting as well.
I would think that James Hazelhurst can feel his heart pounding in his chest now, because he's so near, but he gets so far.
Yeah, so we think, have the safety car pulling in. I think it has done so. So James Hazelhurst controlling the pace as he heads through.
This is a big
I think
minute and a half for him. He's got to go, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has
got
done.
to go.
He has done, and up to the line they go. Green flags waving, but is Matt Rosey close enough to challenge? You've got Lee Scott and Ted Cooper tucked in behind then. Yep, this is the final lap of the race. Marcus Ward there in 5th, Matthew Stubbington in 6th. But actually he's got quite a decent lead through Abbey and down towards the hairpin.
Rosier's super strong on the brakes at Village, as he said earlier on, and he's going to give it a go down the outside and then try for the cutback.
He'll have a go onto the outside. Can't get back to the inside there, but he'll run alongside through the left-hander, and he's done it. It looks like he's gone through, but can Hazelhurst fight back through the right-hander that brings them back onto the high straight?
He can, but they're out wide now.
So we'll pick them up again as they come along the hang straight. They're going to be side by side here by the looks of it. So they're not using the toe. The danger is this brings someone else into the equation as well. Maybe Lee Scott, who's in behind Matt Rosier. He looks like the man most likely to sort of
it's a question.
launch a
It's the
surprise
last
here.
of the late breakers. They're 3 wide going down into Stowe momentarily. But on the inside, it is Hazelhurst clinging on. There was Marcus Ward with Ted Cooper alongside. But it's Hazelhurst who still has the lead, but he's got to protect really hard at the end of Vale.
Yeah, I thought it was Scott that had made it up to 2nd, but it's still Matt Rosier there. Scott and Rosier are side by side on the outside line, then trying to grab the inside line for club corner, but I don't think he's going to do it. Is James Hazelhurst going to hold on? He needs to get the club down now. Rosier's gaining on him as they come up to the line, but it's cut off by Hazelhurst there, and James Hazelhurst has done it. Fantastic effort on the final lap to win the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Classic Stock Catch Championship, round number 8, from the very experienced Matt Rosier and Lee Scott. What a great feather in his cap that is, Marcus.
Absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So Rosier a 3-time champ in different guises, Scott a 5-time champ, and he's held them off. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, well done to James Hazelhurst. In 5th place, Marcus Ward. 6th place Matthew Stubbington, 7th to Stuart Place, 8th to Andrew Thorpe, 9th to Martin Rogers, Scott Ward rounding out the top 10. Last few cars just going through, looks like Alan Dooley and Ian Gribbin, the last of the 19 finishers.
Hazelhurst lost the lead a couple of times on that lap, albeit by a bumper.
He did indeed.
But his fairly robust response down the inside, but fair through the link onto the hangar straight, just kept his nerve, didn't he?
He did, to win by 0.26 seconds from Matt Rosier. Lee Scott 3rd, then Ted Cooper, Marcus Ward, Matthew Stubbington, Stuart Place, Andrew Thorpe, Martin Rogers and Scott Ward. The top 10 separated by less than 4 seconds with that safety car towards the end. Jason Wood was 11th, ahead of Paul Brock, Derek Rosier, Richard Kelsall, Darren Bassingthwaite, Dave Darlington, Pete Oscarby, Alan Julian, Ian Gribbin were the final 2 finishers over the line at the end of a dramatic Demon Tweeks Yokohama Classics.Cats Championship race.
He's not finished in his best position before was 7th.
7th, only one top 10 finish before today, and he becomes our 4th different winner of the season. Lee Scott's had 4, Pete Morgan's had 1, not here today, and Pip Hammond also not here today. He's had a couple before today. So James Hazelhurst, probably not the name we're expecting to add to that list of winning drivers during the course of this season in the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Classics.Cats Championship. We're very interested to hear what he's got to say to Josh Barrett in a moment. He's just arrived in the pit lane, so fantastic celebrations I'm expecting for James Hazelhurst. I'm sure it'll be a popular win, and I'm sure Matt Rosier and Lee Scott, great sportsmen as they are, won't begrudge him the win for a minute, because he's really worked hard and deserved that.
It was very cool the way he turned across the nose of Rosier, who was gaining on him hand over fist into that last corner at Club, or the last element of Club, and they just let him go. They had to, and it would end up with another car on the pit wall had they not.
Well, let's go down to Josh Barrett. He's ready and waiting to talk to the top 3.
Thanks, Ian. James gets out of the car. He's going to be congratulated by Matt Rosier. Well done, James. You think you've only had 1 top 10 before today, and now it's gone very well indeed.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Yeah, the rain like to try and test us there, but yeah, I'm just so glad I brought it back really without hitting anything or spinning. Everyone's so close behind, so that was very intense. Yeah.
And you had to do some work on the car since the last race too.
Yeah, the first race it cut out on me, so I'm just happy to get out there really to start with. So yeah, I'm just over the moon at the moment. Yeah.
It's obviously, I think you started racing here last year, so only sort of 1 year on, and you're now winning.
Quite right. Yeah, exactly. I don't know where it's come from really, but yeah, it's all come together. So really happy.
Now a couple more, or 3 more rounds, I think, so far to go this year. You're going to try and replicate this?
I'm actually off. I'm doing a bit of travelling, so this is my last one for the year. So it's just, nice to end on that. Back next year.
Quite the thing to go travelling on,
exactly,
isn't it?
Yeah, that's quite right, yeah.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Big well done to James Hazelhurst, our newest winner in the Classics.Cats Championship. He was chased all the way by Matt Rosier. Matt, you were alongside and multiple times on that last lap.
Yeah, I mean, it felt a bit mean because the safety card let me close the gap. But, it's racing. I couldn't just let him take it. But he did really well, really well.
Looked like it was quite slippery up at Stowe on the last lap.
It started getting that way, yeah. We had rain on half the circuit, dry on the other half, and judging where the braking points were, how much grip you had through the corner, it was a bit of a lottery every single lap.
Nice to see a new winner in the championship, though.
Yeah, fair play to him. He's driven really well today. He could well have taken the win in the first race if it hadn't been for mechanical issues, and he went and got it done in this race.
Well done on another podium. Try and get that win before the end of the year. And 3rd place for Lee Scott. Lee, I guess a lot of ballast on the car as well, so happy with a podium?
Yeah, I'm thrilled with the podium, and to be right on Matt's tail, I think it's where I need to be. So, yeah, looking at the championship, not too bad. Yeah, I'm very happy. Good to see a new face on the top steps. That's all good.
But the 2 big Classics.Cats components back on the podium again.
Yeah, I guess it's been like that overall for a few years. Yeah, it's good to see.
Over the last few years, we've had people like Marcus Ward, and now with James, so it's good to see that. And James only in like 1 season of racing behind him, so that's really impressive from him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's thrilled for him, and it's good to see new people up here.
I think it's Donington next, and I guess again ballast, and that's maybe not the best track to take lots of ballast to, is it?
Well, it just is what it is. That's the rules. So yeah, we play with those.
And I'm sure the race will be just as close around there. We've had some really good Classics.Cats races there.
Yeah, I imagine it will be. We've had some classics there. Yeah, definitely.
Well done, another podium. To 3rd place to Lee Scott, 2nd to Matt Rosier, but our new winner was James Hazelhurst. Next up, we go back to our guest series, which is the Welsh Sports and Saloons. So let's head back up to Ian and Marcus.